Linus Tech Tips coverage of CES 2014 is brought to you by NCIX.com, your source for great technology, selection, and service, along with Corsair Memory and Western Digital. We're here in the MSI suite at CES 2014, and they've got some pretty exciting stuff on display starting. Oh, that's heavy. With the R9 290X Lightning. Now, unlike the GTX 780 Lightning, which we actually checked out not that long ago, there is no GPU reactor on the back. However, not to worry, guys, because even though GTX 780 Lightning had a GPU reactor, which in theory provides more power to the GPU, NVIDIA has a power limit that's sort of a pesky overclocking limiter, so to speak. AMD has imposed no such limitation on MSI, so you will be able to use their triple over voltage features as well as this incredibly beefy, 2.5 slot looking cooler to unlock the full potential of the R9 290X GPU. So it's got the usual features. You've got a full black backplate as well as a unisync, and then of course the massive heat pipe cooler that has 4 heat pipes running all the way through. It looks like it's actually got 5. There's one going the other way. It also has a tri-frozer cooler, so unlike the more traditional twin frozer cooler, you can not only have more fans, you can also control them independently. So the 2 outer ones are on one PWM control, and the middle one is actually on a separate one. Now, in line with the hint before about how much power you can feed this thing, it has 2 8-pin PCI Express power inputs and 1 PCI Express 6-pin power input. So I'm pretty excited to see what we can do with that particular card when we get our hands on it. On the other side of the spectrum, we've got the GTX 760 ITX. So it has a single 8-pin power connector, and it is only a little bit longer, about an inch and change longer than the length of a standard PCI Express slot. This goes along with a bit of a focus that MSI has here on ITX design. So in the past, we only really saw, we've seen their Z87 ITX gaming branded motherboard, but only on the Intel side. Well, now we're getting an AMD performance optimized ITX board too. This is on the FM2 Plus platform. It's going to be compatible with AMD's upcoming Kaveri CPU. It all has PCI Express 16X. It's got Intel Wi-Fi. It's got all the kind of features that you want, black PCB, all that kind of stuff. So you can now finally build a truly performance-grade AMD ITX system, something we haven't really been able to do up until now. Speaking of other AMD designs, they now have gaming boards for AMD, both in an ATX flavor and an MATX flavor. Just as a reminder, all MSI's gaming branded boards use their military class concept, so that is high quality components. They also feature audio boost, which is a headphone amped audio output, and they also use killer onboard networking in order to give you guys that prioritization feature that enables your games to have the highest priority out of all of your network traffic. Of course, they come with the usual MSI gaming color scheme, which is a black and red with a matte PCB look that will definitely turn some heads. The last one here we've got is a completely unreleased product. This isn't even finished yet. In fact, it doesn't even seem to have a name. It's just AM1, and then on the back there's FS1i, whatever all of these things mean. This is an AMD Kaveri board. So that's not a proper desktop platform. Hold on a second, what's going on? Well, Kaveri actually has some pretty interesting advantages over some of the other processors available. One is that it could be powerful enough for a relatively low usage desktop. Number 2 is it's available in up to an X6 configuration. And number 3 is the onboard graphics aren't that bad. So especially when you factor in the way that AMD is pushing forward on OpenCL and compute to increase the performance of an overall platform without focusing that much on CPU power, the fact that you're going to be able to have a socketed, upgradable Kaveri board in an ITX form factor could be very interesting to folks who are looking for something power efficient, that's powerful enough to do basic stuff, like say, for example, play some Super Meat Boy, but not necessarily powerful enough for the most, demanding games, but could handle something like game streaming on SteamOS. Where's Linus going with this? I think I just said it. Don't miss any of our CES 2014 coverage, guys. Our trip to the show is powered by NCIX.com, your source for great technology, selection, and service. And, of course, our other sponsors are Corsair Memory and Western Digital. Thanks, guys. We couldn't have done this without you.